UK government has approved a COVID-19 vaccine to be rolled out from next week. It's accepted a recommendation to approve the Pfizer and BioNTech vaccine. A committee is now working on final advice for which people should receive it first. That's expected to include care home residents and health workers. The UK Health Secretary says that around 50 hospitals are set up and waiting to accept the vaccine.
The approval of a vaccine almost exactly a year since COVID-19 first emerged in Wuhan, China, is a triumph for science. The final trial data for the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine was only submitted to the UK regulator, the MHRA, a week ago. But as a result of a process of rolling approval, examining data even as the trials were taking place, the regulator has been able to move swiftly and confidently to declare it effective and safe.
The safety of the vaccine has been scrutinised independently by our Commission on Human Medicines, and no stone has been left unturned. So absolute confidence in the safety, effectiveness and quality of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine.
Britain has bought 40 million doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech jab, and the first 800,000 doses will be available in the UK next week. 10 million doses will be delivered this year, and the remainder will arrive during 2021.
This is a monumental step forward. It's no longer if there's going to be a vaccine, it's when. In our battle against the virus, help is on its way.
There are still challenges. This specific vaccine needs to be kept between -70 Celsius and -80 Celsius, meaning that hospitals will almost certainly have to be the main hubs for distribution. But it can be kept for up to 5 days at normal fridge temperature, between 2 degrees and 8 degrees Celsius. Individuals need 2 jabs, 21 days apart, for full protection. And in the UK, a committee called the JCVI says elderly care home residents and their carers will be first in line.
In order to protect the most vulnerable, we have prioritised the most vulnerable individuals first. The other element is protection of the NHS, the health and social care system, because by protecting the NHS, we also protect lives.
The challenge now will be to manufacture and distribute the quantities required to meet what will inevitably be extraordinary demand. Britain has a head start, but the United States has ordered 100 million doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech jab, and the European Union 200 million.
I
hope they'll be rolled out everywhere in the world as soon as possible, because we really need it. What England does and why, I'm not sure. I hope it comes to Italy soon.
If they carried out the due tests and their results are the real results and not approximate ones, then it's welcome. Anyway, the English are not stupid. They have a brain.
There are several other vaccines undergoing final stage trials, and vaccine candidates by Moderna and Oxford AstraZeneca have been submitted to regulators. With the UK's approval, Pfizer-BioNTech are leading the field. But the options for tackling this global pandemic are likely to get even wider within a matter of weeks.
When will people be able to get this vaccine?
Well, Adrian, firstly, this is probably the most hopeful announcement since the start of the pandemic, at least, of course, since the announcement that several vaccines were being worked on by different pharmaceuticals companies and researchers in different places around the world. But it was, of course, the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine made by that team of German scientists in partnership with the US pharmaceuticals giant that came back with initial results from key trials to suggest that they had a significant effectiveness when it came to their vaccine of more than 90%. And now the UK becomes the first industrialised nation to give the green light to this vaccine, allowing it to essentially start to be rolled out as early as next week, from Monday morning, said Britain's Health Secretary Matt Hancock this morning. The MHRA, which is the Medicines and Regulatory Authority, is an independent organisation. It has basically sped up all of the checks and balances that it needs to go through to make sure that this vaccine is safe for use. Now it's all down to exactly how fast the manufacturer can make the vaccine to determine exactly how many people it can reach. But we do believe that from Monday morning, 800,000 doses will be in the UK. There need to be some checks on that vaccine before it actually leaves Belgium, where the factory is actually based, before it arrives here. People will need 2 doses of that vaccine injected into the arm 21 days apart. So 800,000 doses means that 400,000 people will receive that vaccine. And of course, also a key thing to remember, it's what's known as a key chain vaccine. So it needs to be kept at incredibly low temperatures, minus 80 degrees centigrade. And that has to be the case throughout the whole of the movement of the vaccine from one country to another, or the place of manufacture to the place in which it's actually being deployed. So the best places to receive the vaccine are, of course, going to be hospitals. But we will find out later on exactly the order of who will get the vaccine first.
Yeah, who's in charge of deciding who gets it first? And I mean, you gave me some huge numbers there. This is going to be a massive logistical operation, getting this vaccine out to those who need it.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And determining the order of who gets the vaccine is a key one. We will find out a little bit later on when another key organisation that advises the government comes back with its findings on how exactly the vaccine should be distributed. According to Matt Hancock, the British Health Secretary, who has been speaking over the course of the morning, the British government, even prior to the regulator giving it the green light, had said that they were ready to receive 10 million doses before the end of the year. They do believe that the majority of people will be vaccinated at the start of next year, but when it comes to deciding who gets it first, well, the indication is that elderly in care homes and their carers will be at the top of the list. National Health Service workers will then get it, and then it will progressively go down the ages. So a huge logistical operation underway. Majority of people getting it next year, those most vulnerable very soon, though.